Ed. Hello, how are you today? Okay, so before I said I stopped at chapter 12, but I actually stopped at chapter 11. So we're going to continue right now with chapter 12. Ada scrambled up the stairs to Arthur's room. A moment later, she ran down with her brother's tennis racket and a large bag of tennis balls. Mrs. Twist stopped her by the front door. Ada, she said, are those Arthur's? It's an emergency, said Ada. Ada's mother looked at her. Ada, she said calmly, we've had this talk. You can't use your brother's things without his... And I'm going to show you guys pictures. Don't take Arthur's stuff. Remember, Ada's not supposed to touch her brother's stuff. Permission. If you need a racket, use your own. Where is it? Well, said Ada. That's not a good answer, said her mother, and you know it. Ada did know it. What she didn't know was where she had left her own racket. There were lots of possibilities, but there was no time to figure it out. Mom, Ada said, I need to go on now. This is really important. Mrs. Twist crossed her arms. So is this, she said. Mrs. Twist crossed her arms. So is this, she said. But, said Ada, the wind might change and the whirlwind could collapse. And these tennis balls, they can add enough mass to the pants to offset the pants' buoyancy so the force is balanced at the lower height. Can't you see? What? Asked Mrs. Twist. She didn't look happy. Ada did not feel happy. Why didn't her mother just understand what she was saying? She didn't have time to draw a picture. Maybe if she said it faster and louder. Ada blurted out her ideas as fast and as loud as she could, but her words jumbled and fumbled. Some of them got left out altogether. Air pressure, G, buoyant force, monkeys, gravity. Ada said as fast as she could. Tennis balls, leaping lemurs. Ada Marie. Ada stopped talking. Her mother was frustrated and frazzled. She was mad, and time was running out. Mom, said Ada, the downward forces have to be greater than the buoyant force or the pants will never sink. And Ada, Mrs. Twist cut her off. What did I tell you? Ada's parents were always telling her things. So Ada kept the list in her notebook. She flipped it open. The bathroom is not a science lab, she said. Not that, said her mother. The pantry is not an ant farm, said Ada. What else? Don't put my toothbrush in the earthworm box, said Ada. Ada, said her mother, trying to stay calm voice. What did we tell you about your brother's things? Ada's mother was upset, and it was Ada, and it made Ada think of Rosie, who was upset too. Rosie was scared and worried about Uncle Ned. Time was running out, and no matter how fast Ada talked or how she tried to explain to her mother didn't understand. What would Rosie do if Uncle Ned blew away? What if he blew away to the whole other country? What if Rosie never saw him again? It made Ada sad. Her heart turned to blue. Ada stopped talking and stood quietly, not knowing what to do. Ada, you know that. And suddenly Mrs. Twist stopped talking too. She pushed her glasses up and looked closely at her young daughter's face, and at that moment her heart almost turned to blue. Ada was trying her best to tell her something, and she didn't understand what. Mrs. Twist sighed and knelt next to Ada. She looked at her daughter and smiled kindly. She took a deep breath and let it out slowly. Start at the start, she said gently, and that's what Ada did. She told her mother about the birds and the tree and how Uncle Ned flew into the... Mrs. Twist jumped to her feet. What? She said. Ned Revere is flying around town in helium pans. This is an emergency. I know, said Ada, but it's okay. What do you mean? Asked Mrs. Twist. How is it okay? Ada smiled. Because I know what to do. Go Ada! Go Ada! Go Ada! Go Ada! Okay, chapter 13. This is when I noticed I messed up. I love my brother. Just then, Ada's brother Arthur came in, and he pointed at the racket. Is that my racket? He started, but then he interrupted himself. Mom, there's a guy with a balloon pass flying around town. I think he's in trouble. We know, said Mrs. Twist. Arthur looked at his mom. He looked at Ada. He looked at his tennis racket, which was his most prized possession in the world. He looked at Ada again. How can we help? He asked. How can I help? He asked. And here's the pictures. This is the cutest picture. Good job, Mr. Roberts. Look at that picture. It is the cutest. Oh my gosh. He has outdone himself. That is cool. I love the rug. Okay, So think. This is chapter 14. Think on chapter 14. They sped up to the factory. The bus screeched to a stop, and Uncle Fred pulled the lever to open the door. Good luck, He said. Good luck, Ada, he said. They hopped off the bus. He's still up there, said Arthur, pointing to Uncle Ned. The crowd was larger now. The monkeys were racing up and down the fire ladder, and Ostrich was pecking at the firehouse. We're back, announced Ada. Hello, yelled Uncle Ned. Let's get to work, said Ada. Arthur opened the bag of tennis balls. Ada took out a ball and grabbed the racket. What's the plan? Asked Iggy. I'm going to hit the balls to Uncle Ned, and then he catches them. There, the mass will be added to the mass. Their mass will be added to the mass, and the gravity will pull him down to earth. And then said Ada. Iggy looked confused. Ada started to get overwhelmed. She needed to explain, but she didn't have time to draw a picture to show them the plan. Rosie looked at Ada and smiled. I get it, she said. Uncle Ned is like a boat floating on a sea of air. You're going to weigh him down with the tennis balls until his boat sinks and the boat can grab him. You'll overcome the buoyancy force, said Iggy. See, I got it. Ada beamed. Now all she had to do was make the plan work. Put the tennis balls in your helmet, Uncle Ned, she yelled. Okay, he yelled, but can you hurry? There are two mean-looking birds on the wall up here. What do they look like? Said Ada. They're black and purple and have a V in their tails, said Uncle Ned. They are swooping at me like crazy. Do they have orange beaks? Asked Ada. No, yelled Uncle Ned. They have beady eyes and a bad attitude. Ada thought for a moment and yelled back. Do you have any dragonflies in your pocket? She asked. No, cried Uncle Ned. Then don't worry about it, said Ada. Those are purple martins. And they eat flying insects like dragonflies. They won't bother you. Phew, replied Uncle Ned, swirling around again. And Ada grabbed a tennis ball and took aim. I need to hit it at this angle, she said, pointing up to Uncle Ned. That's about 100 degrees, said Iggy. I used to angle like that in the cheesecracker arch the other day. It was delicious. So here we go. She also put pictures of the purple martin in there. Okay. The Purple Martin, from the Nerd Bird Guide to the Book for Nerds by Mr. Audubon. The Purple Martin family is Tahiri-denidae, genus and species. Swallows or swim, graceful birds that swoop and dive through the air to catch flying insects. They have pointed wings, tiny feet, and short bills, which open very wide to capture insects in flight. The Purple Martin is the largest swallow in North America. Males are purple-black on the top, and underneath they are the only swallows with black bellies. The females are light in color, including their bellies and chin. Purple martin tail feathers are shaped like the letter V. The purple martin migrates each winter to South America, then returns to North America to nest in the spring. They nest in the semi-open country near water, towns, and farms. In the west, they can be found in saguaro, desert, and mountain forests. Purple martins like to nest in communities. They often nest in multi-room bird houses put up by people. However, purple martin populations are dropping, possibly because of the lack of nesting sites and competition with starlings. And here we go again, and you can see the male and the female purple martin. Really cute. Good drawings. Here it goes, said Ada. She swung the racket. Walk! A bright green ball flew off the racket and right at Iggy's head. It grazed his hair, it bounced off the wall, and knocked the sketching pencil out of Barbara Ross's hand. Hey, said Iggy, ain't for Uncle Ned. I did, said Ada. She tried. Again, thunk. The ball hit the fire ladder next to the monkey. The monkey screeched at Ada, grabbed the tennis ball, and ran off. Sorry, she said. Doop, doop. Ada hit ball after ball, and they went everywhere except for where they were supposed to go. Ada frowned. She was frustrated. Why didn't this work? Ada studied her notebook. Why isn't it working? She asked. I know how to hit a ball and how hard. Knowing what to do isn't the same as being able to do it, said her mom. Ada's mother was right. Ada knew all about the forces and angles, but she didn't know how to hit the balls to make it happen. There was only one person she knew who could do that. She handed the record to her brother. "Can you do it?" she asked. Arthur smiled. Dear world famous tennis champion Arthur Ashe wear wristbands?" he asked. Ada knew the answer to that. Her brother had 5 posters of his favorite tennis player on his walls. Arthur Ashe wore wristbands in each room. That's a picture of Arthur Ashe. Okay, so that was chapter 12 through 14. Ada Twist and the Perilous Pants. Chapter 12 through 14.